The effects of HR analytics in our firm. Hello and welcome. I am so grateful that each of you have been able to join me today. For those of you that don't know, my name is Megan Leroy, and I am the HR director here at ABC Recruiting Group. I am confident that in the next several minutes, you will see the importance of incorporating HR analytics into our firm. In this presentation, we are going to address what I mean when I say HR analytics and the role that they can play in our firm, specifically addressing our problem areas of absenteeism and turnover. We will be diving further into our current trends and how the use of HR analytics can make an impact. Let's begin our discussion today with HR analytics. It is important that we begin with HR analytics and what the term itself means. Analytics is the process of discovering, interpreting, and communicating significant patterns in data. HR analytics are not much different, except they deal with the people analysis and applying analytical processes to the human capital within the organization to improve employee performance and improve employee retention. By utilizing data, we are able to gain significant insight and make more informed business decisions. Let's take the next few minutes to dive into absenteeism and how it's affecting our firm. Absenteeism is the failure to report for or remain at work as scheduled, regardless of the reason. Do you know how much absenteeism is actually costing our firm? There are many costs associated with absenteeism, some of which you may not be familiar with or have originally thought of. The four main categories of costs to consider are the cost associated with the absent workers, including their benefits and wages, the cost associated with managing absenteeism, which could be the manager's time in finding a replacement, or the time that they have to take away from doing their job to perform the duties of the absent employee. Third, the cost of a substitute employees, which could be overtime or potentially a temporary hire, and the cost reduced in quantity or quality of work. The absenteeism rate can be calculated by taking the days or hours missed and dividing that by the average workforce size times the workforce hours or days. Let's look at an example. By utilizing our numbers from last year, I've estimated the cost of absenteeism. As you can see, it's quite extensive with the total cost close to $1.5 million. On the chart on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see that the biggest cost is the substitute employee cost at 61% of total cost. As recruiters, it is important that someone is there to cover the work that is being missed to effectively manage candidate flow and to close deals. Due to the COVID pandemic, we've already implemented working from home, which is likely to decrease some of these costs related to absenteeism, but we don't have the data to see the true effects at this point. Did you know statistics show that more than 60% of work absenteeism is attributed to psychological stress and stress-related burnout? And according to a 2018 survey, 40% of the 2,000 employees that were surveyed said they were considered quitting because of burnout. This is a great segue into our next topic of turnover. Turnover can be voluntary or involuntary and can be potentially recognized by shifts in employee behaviors. These shifts can include doing the minimum amount of work necessary to complete the job, somebody acting less like a team player than what they once did, leaving early more frequently, and productivity being decreased more than usual. Now, these are just some examples. Turnover has a substantial cost when it comes to our recruiting business. This includes the separation of replacement costs, as well as the cost of lost clients and candidates. Turnover costs can be quite extensive, ranging from 93 to 200% of an existing employee's salary. Through the use of HR analytics, we can calculate the turnover rates by taking the number of turnover incidents divided by the average workforce size and then multiplying that by 100. This is an important metric because it allows us to drill down into the potential causes across different business units within our firm and also among tenured staff. Let's take a look into the costs of employee turnover. We call these employee separation costs. Employee separation, which is also known as turnover, occurs when an employee permanently leaves an organization. We have seen increased employee separation in the last several months, and this problem has not been analyzed or addressed by ABC Recruiting at this time. The total cost of separation can be calculated by adding together the separation costs, the replacement costs, the training costs, and the performance costs. This will give us our total cost of employee separation. Here we can see that the total cost of separation was over $8.5 million for last year. So how can we combat these concerns of absenteeism and turnover? The best way to combat the issue of absenteeism and turnover is by putting the data to work. We can use the analytical methods described earlier of absenteeism, turnover rate, and employee separation costs to create and implement strategies to ensure a better outcome for our employees and for the organization as a whole. I would first propose that we implement a FLEXITIME policy. FLEXITIME is a policy in which employees can vary their start and finish times provided a certain number of hours are worked. This type of policy, in conjunction with the already implemented work from home policy, will allow the employee to have more control over their schedule by starting and ending their days at non-traditional times. Currently, the office schedule is from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, as with any new policy, there are pros and cons to implementing a new program. The pros include employee empowerment, reduced turnover, and a boost in morale, while the cons consist of the potential to mislead an employee's family or friends about their availability, there being no clear divide between work and home, and the fact that some employees may require the need of supervision in order to perform well. A flexi-time schedule will allow our employees to better meet their own personal needs as well as the needs of our clients and our candidates, as many cannot talk during that typical 8 to 5 schedule because they are working. By implementing a single program of flexi-time, what can we expect the outcome to be? A single program can bring on an array of effects. The recommended FlexiTime strategy is only one program that, if implemented, will address absenteeism, turnover, job satisfaction, morale, and increase performance, and this is just the beginning. By utilizing the analytics, we are able to build strategies that will continue to affect our firm and our employees. Other potential strategies that we can look into include return on investment for training, employee engagement, wellness and benefit programs, as well as staffing utility. As you can see, there are substantial benefits in bringing in an HR analytics system into ABC Recruiting Group. We have lost so much money by not taking the time to obtain and analyze the data that has been sitting right in front of us for years. Let's not miss out on anything else and start implementing the HR analytics program today and use that data to develop strategies and plans to make our firm better for tomorrow. What do you say? I appreciate your time, and should you have any questions, I'll take them now.